What's going on, everybody? It's Jazz the CEO back with another video to clear up some industry myths for you. Here's to all my armed security officers. Now, every market in every region, state, whatever, is a little different. But let me just talk in a general sense. If you're an armed officer and you have a firearm permit, you don't necessarily deserve more money. This is where I think officers get a little confused. They're like, I'm armed now, so therefore you have to pay me 20 and up, 25 and up, 30 and up. When necessarily that's not true, especially for smaller security companies. If you work for a smaller security company, your value isn't just on your firearm, because let's be honest, the goal of security is to not to ever have to use the firearm, right? But if you are having a goal of never having to use a firearm, then what do you actually possess so that you don't have to use the firearm? Do you have de-escalation skills? Do you have certs in non-lethal, taser, OC, baton, handcuff, hand-to-hand combat, etc.? Is the answer no? Then I'm sorry to tell you, but you are actually not worth more than what you think you're being paid, or more than what you think they should be paying out. You're not worth that because you don't actually have the experience or the education or the soft skills to be able to not become a liability for the company. If you're a liability, why would I pay you more to cost me money in the long run? When I say in the long run, I mean if something happens and you pull your firearm when you're not supposed to, you do it wrong, you shoot the wrong person, you do anything that brings a lawsuit, now you're a liability, right? Or you're left on your own because your company doesn't cover you for insurance, or your company won't cover you because you did something that's called misconduct in the handbook, and now you're all by yourself because you didn't have the soft skills, de-escalation, hand-to-hand combat, hard skills. You didn't have OC spray. You didn't have anything to use before using your firearm. And you also didn't have your mindset correct to use it. Now you're a liability. So why would we pay liabilities more? So in order for you to become a non-liability, I need you to think about your training map. I need you to think about where you start, what you bring to the table, and then I need you to think about what you need to add in so that you don't have to use your firearm for every situation. Because remember, the goal is to preserve life, not take it. And as a security officer, we're held at a different standard, different laws than police officers. You can't just walk in 4 seconds into a situation and shoot. It doesn't work like that. So what we really need to do is to build you up for success. So you need to get those non-lethal certs. You need to be able to have keen situational awareness, de-escalation skills, people skills, things like that. OC spray, taser, baton, handcuffs, anything that you can use before using a deadly weapon, a deadly firearm, or deadly force, because you don't want to become a liability. But you are now valuable and deserving of more pay when you bring more to the table. So you have to change your perspective on what you think is valuable, because if you just put all your valuableness into the firearm on your side, you're missing the point for someone who's an owner-operator. I need someone who can take care of a situation without costing me money, without causing liability, without taking life. I need someone who can think through the situation before acting through the situation. That's what makes you valuable. We bring multiple things to the table, multiple ways to handle a situation to the table. Having a firearm and being an armed guard doesn't make you valuable. You can have a firearm and be an armed guard and always be late, always be insubordinate, don't know your manual, can't even shoot. So having the gun isn't the value. And I think that's the biggest myth of the security industry. Oh, I am an armed guard, I am valuable, I have what I need, you should be paying me. What other skills do you have? What other things do you bring to the table to make yourself valuable? Now, on a bigger scale, at bigger companies, the pay rate is flat. If you get a job that's at a federal company and it's a federal job on a federal contract and it's $30 an hour, they don't care if you have other skills, because the only skill they need is a body anyway, because they're on a federal contract and they have multiple positions to fill at one time. They give you the training they need you to have, and they keep it moving. But when you're doing a private sector situation, it becomes a little bit more intricate. So you need to think about yourself as a commodity, but do I have value as this commodity, or am I just something that's thrown together? I got my credentials together so fast, and then I didn't invest in any other training. So think about that. Being valuable versus being a liability. Which one are you?